is called the 2D drafting. Yes or no? Whatever an idea that you have to put that idea into a paper. That is called 2D drafting in technical terms. The first step is, and what software we use for 2D drafting? What software we use for 2D drafting? Any idea? AutoCAD. Yes, AutoCAD is the software that we use for 2D drafting. Yes, all the participants answering correctly, AutoCAD only. So especially we use the AutoCAD for the 2D drafting. Okay, AutoCAD stands for Automatic Computer Aided Design. One of the most important software to create a complete project like elevation, section, detailing, construction note, everything we can do in AutoCAD. But after creating 2D diagram, we have to convert the 2D diagram into 3D for a better representation. So that's why the second step is 3D modeling. Any idea which software we use for 3D modeling? So we, after creating a 2D, we convert into 3D. Yes, Revit, SketchUp. Yes, Revit, SketchUp. One more software is 3D Max. So these are the three most important softwares for 3D modeling. Why Revit? Revit is also called as building information modeling. One of the best software for 3D modeling. That's why Revit also plays a very, very important role in 3D modeling. So it gives the information about the building. So let's see how the user interface look like. Can you see this is the user interface of Revit architecture? We can place the doors, we can place the windows, we can drag and drop, everything we can do here. Okay, we can drag and drop, we can place the, we can also calculate the area, we can also calculate the volume, and we can also calculate the number of doors, number of windows, everything we can do it here. Okay, so that is the Revit architecture. The second 3D modeling software is 3ds Max. 3ds means 3D Studio Max. One of the most important software for 3D modeling, especially if you are designing a separate room. Especially if you are designing a room separately, one by one, then this is the best software. Okay, so each and every small details we can do in this. Done. Now we'll go for the third 3D modeling software, that is called SketchUp. SketchUp is also very important software. Previously, it is used called as Google SketchUp. Now it is taken by Trimble Inclination 2012. On 2012, from that date onwards, it is called just SketchUp. It is also very user-friendly software. We can create a diagram very fast. So these are the three most important softwares for 3D modeling: Revit, 3D Max, and SketchUp. So once we create a model, then we'll go for the third step. You know what is the third step? This, by the way, this is the user interface of SketchUp. Okay, very, very user-friendly software. Then the last one is the presentation, project presentation and visualization. So one of the best software for visualization, and the software that we use for visualization is Photoshop. So after taking the 3D rendered image, so like what we do in Revit and 3D Max and SketchUp, we can apply the material, we can apply the lighting, we can apply the camera and all of that. After doing all of that, we have to take the rendered image into the Photoshop. In the Photoshop, we do the color corrections, background editing, color corrections, and all of that we can do in Photoshop. That's why Photoshop plays a very, very important role, because if you go to any construction site, you find a poster, you find a banner, holdings, or pamphlets, that all are designed by using Photoshop only. So everything we can do in Photoshop. The presentation purpose, everything presentation we can do in Photoshop only. Okay, so Photoshop is a professional image editing software, one of the best software to edit the images. After taking the rendered image from SketchUp or Revit or 3D Max, we can do the editing here. So that's why Photoshop also plays a very important software. Can you see here? By taking simple 2D plan from Photoshop, from AutoCAD, we can do like this. Okay, can you see background? We can edit like this. And here you can see we can do the gardening and all of like this. So all of this we can do by using the Photoshop. Okay. So three most important steps are 2D drafting, 3D modeling, and project presentation. 2D drafting, 3D modeling, and project presentation. So these are the three most important steps in any 3D modeling software, 3D modeling industry. Okay. So what are the five softwares which are important? For 2D drafting, you need to learn AutoCAD. For 3D modeling, you need to learn Revit, 3D Max, and SketchUp. For project presentation, you need to learn Photoshop. So if you are a civil engineer or an architecture or an interior designer, or you want to be a 3D modeler in civil industry or architecture industry or interior industry, you must learn these courses. Okay, wherever you want to learn. Okay, you can join nearby institute also, but I suggest you learn first these 5 courses. Then if you have a time, money and interest, you can learn other courses also. But these are the top 5 softwares which are very, very important. Is that clear, everyone? I hope you got a value from this PPT presentation. Yes or no? At least you came to know now what are the courses which you need to learn and what is the sequence of the courses, why to learn and all of that. Yes? Thank you so much. Now choice is yours where you want to learn. Okay? Now it's time for the feedback. Are you ready to give me your valuable feedback about